circles are basically features, designs, illustrations of high complexity in crops.
For decades, fields across the globe have been mysteriously transformed overnight into massive, precise crop formations. Some simple, others mind-bendingly complex. Were they pranks, signals from beyond, or something else entirely? In 2025, artificial intelligence scanned every formation ever recorded and uncovered patterns, structures, and mathematical signatures no human had ever noticed. Now, what began as rural curiosity might reveal a decades-long intelligence hiding in plain sight. Because what AI discovered in those stalks may not just rewrite the mystery of crop circles, but the way we understand truth itself. The phenomenon emerges. The story of crop circles doesn't begin with viral YouTube videos or fringe internet forums. It begins centuries ago with whispered folklore and hand-carved illustrations. One of the earliest records dates back to 1678, a woodcut known as the Mowing Devil. It depicted a horned figure burning symmetrical patterns into a farmer's field after a dispute over wages. Though many dismiss it as a morality tale or myth, its symbolism suggests an ancient belief that the land could be marked by forces beyond human hands. Fast forward to the late 20th century, and rural England became the epicenter of a startling revival. In the 1970s and 80s, simple circular depressions began appearing in fields across Wiltshire and Hampshire. At first, they were dismissed as weather phenomena or pranksters, until they didn't stop. Over time, the shapes became increasingly elaborate. Spirals, triangles, and intricate mandalas stretching hundreds of feet wide. Some formations showed fractal symmetry, embedded mathematical ratios, and orientation aligned with ancient sites like Stonehenge. In 1991, two men, Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, stepped forward claiming they had created many of the formations as a hoax. The media pounced on the explanation, but serious researchers noticed inconsistencies. The duo's crude plank and rope method might explain early circles, but it failed to account for the later formations. Those made with near-mechanical precision, in darkness, without detectable errors or tracks. A mystery deeper than mischief had taken root. The intelligence connection. By the early 1990s, crop circles had shifted from rural oddities to a full-blown global mystery. In 1990, the British Ministry of Defense launched Operation Blackbird, a 3-week military surveillance mission near Silbury Hill, a prehistoric mound long associated with unexplained activity. Officially, the goal was to catch pranksters in the act, but the tools deployed told a different story. Military-grade night vision cameras, radar arrays, and infrared sensors, all set up to monitor quiet fields 24/7. Then, something strange happened. Instead of capturing humans with boards and rope, observers reported small, glowing orbs hovering silently over the crops. These orbs were seen just hours before new formations appeared, but whatever footage was recorded vanished. The official report claimed nothing was found, case closed. But behind the scenes, the operation had split into 2 layers, one public, one covert. Civilian researcher Colin Andrews later revealed that the military had run a parallel investigation, completely separate from his team's work. Around the same time, reports emerged that government agencies had started manipulating the narrative. Declassified documents and whistleblowers later revealed a pattern. Intelligence operatives were deliberately feeding fake stories, promoting hoaxes, and seeding misinformation. Their goal wasn't to debunk, it was to overwhelm. Confuse the public with too many theories, bury real anomalies under noise, and it worked. The impossible evidence. While government investigations faded into silence, a new kind of research was unfolding, not in fields, but in laboratories. At the center was Dr. W.C. Levengood, a biophysicist whose work appeared in peer-reviewed journals. He and his team examined over 350 crop formations across 8 countries, analyzing plants, soils, and even seeds. What they uncovered couldn't be dismissed as foot traffic or prankster damage. Inside genuine formations, plant stems weren't broken or flattened. Instead, they were bent at sharp angles, often close to 90 degrees, without crushing. Their nodes, the joints along the stem, were elongated, and in many cases they had burst open, as if from internal pressure. This effect is impossible to replicate without heating the internal moisture rapidly, something like a short burst of microwave energy. And yet, there were no signs of burning. The soil revealed another anomaly. Microscopic iron particles melted into smooth spheres, a signature of intense heat reaching plasma levels. These metallic traces were fused into the earth, yet there were no scorch marks on the surface. The implications were staggering. This was a high-energy event. Not mechanical interference, but it was the seeds that delivered the most shocking data. In lab conditions, plants from genuine formations often grew faster, stronger, and more resilient than control samples. Roots were thicker. Germination was accelerated by 30 to 40%. Somehow, these energy events weren't just shaping crops, they were enhancing them at a cellular level. Dutch physicist Dr. Eltjo Hazelhoff confirmed these patterns followed point source energy models, implying the force originated above the ground, not from human action below. Combine this with countless eyewitness reports of electromagnetic disturbances, battery failures, and physical sensations inside formations, and one thing becomes clear. These were not pranks. They were engineered events, and they left behind physical, measurable, repeatable evidence. The AI revelation. By 2025, interest in crop circles had dwindled. Most believed the mystery had been solved, explained away by hoaxes and media hype. But a team of researchers decided to revisit the phenomenon using something previous generations lacked: quantum-trained artificial intelligence. They fed the AI decades worth of data: high-resolution satellite images, drone footage, soil readings, and even the geometric schematics of formations from around the world. The machine wasn't programmed with theories or assumptions. It simply looked for patterns across time. What it found stunned even the skeptics. One of the most striking discoveries emerged from a formation in Bavaria. At first glance, it appeared to be just another elegant circle carved into a wheat field. But when the AI compared it to historical records, it revealed something extraordinary. The Bavarian design was not original. It was an exact fusion of two separate crop circles that had appeared in England back in 2005. Their dimensions, proportions, and angles had been preserved and recombined with millimeter-level accuracy. No human memory or manual replication could achieve that level of precision across 20 years. Even more astonishing were the hidden construction lines the AI detected, faint internal geometries invisible to the naked eye. These weren't random marks. They were underlying scaffolds embedded within the patterns, symmetry guides that only revealed themselves under advanced image enhancement. No rope, no board, no human footprint could leave behind that kind of coded blueprint. Then came the most chilling finding of all. The plants in the Bavarian formation were bent at a perfect 51-degree angle, every stalk. The AI cross-checked thousands of samples and found the same angle repeated with uncanny precision. This wasn't stomping or flattening. It was uniform molecular folding, as if governed by a programmed force. The machine then expanded its analysis and detected something even more unnerving: mathematical ratios appearing across decades. Designs from Wiltshire in 1990 matched patterns in Dutch fields in 2010, then again in Bavaria in 2025. These ratios weren't decorative. They were data, recurring intervals like musical notes in a long-forgotten song, emerging over time as if composed by an unseen hand. This led to a terrifying conclusion. These weren't isolated symbols. They were connected parts of a larger message, one that could only be decoded once our machines were advanced enough to read it. The psychological experiment. By the time AI revealed the underlying intelligence behind crop circle geometry, the question had shifted. It wasn't just about who made the formations, but why the phenomenon was allowed to persist for so long. And here, researchers uncovered something even more unsettling than alien contact or energy anomalies: psychological experimentation. After failing to contain or explain away the mystery, intelligence agencies appeared to adopt a new strategy, not to suppress the phenomenon, but to manipulate how people responded to it. Crop circles became the perfect sandbox for testing public perception. Each time a formation appeared, it triggered two predictable reactions. One group saw mystery, intent, and hidden intelligence. The other dismissed it as attention-seeking vandalism. This divide didn't emerge by accident, it was engineered. Documents and whistleblower accounts suggest agencies deliberately seeded hoax explanations into the media at critical moments. Confessions by supposed pranksters often appear just as public fascination peaked. The goal wasn't to fully explain the circles. It was to explain just enough to halt deeper investigation. Meanwhile, the more complex cases, the ones with biological and electromagnetic anomalies, were ignored or quietly erased. This tactic mirrored a broader technique used in psychological operations: information saturation. Instead of hiding the truth, they buried it under noise, contradictory stories, flashy theories, and internet ridicule. The result? Confusion. And confusion is a powerful tool. It stops people from reaching consensus, from investigating further, from taking anything seriously. Seen in this light, crop circles were more than geometric puzzles. They were live tests, early prototypes of mass-scale narrative control. Visual, emotional, and deliberately ambiguous, they allowed agencies to study belief formation in real time. Who believes? Who mocks? How quickly do communities fracture when given partial information and seeded doubt? And the methods didn't disappear. They evolved. Today, instead of wheat fields, the battleground is digital. Viral content replaces circles. Fake accounts, bots, and coordinated campaigns have taken over. But the principle remains the same. Control the perception, not the reality. Keep the population locked in debate, uncertainty, and emotional reaction. If you control belief, you don't need to hide the truth. You just have to keep it from being seen clearly. Artificial intelligence did more than expose the technical impossibility of crop circle hoaxes. It reframed the entire phenomenon. It showed us that many of these formations were part of a larger sequence, spread across time and continents, revealing a level of planning that defied coincidence. But the real revelation wasn't just about geometry or even intelligence. It was about manipulation. For decades, we were led to believe this was all harmless fun, a fringe mystery for conspiracy theorists. But behind the spectacle was a psychological mechanism, an experiment not just in symbols, but in how people think, believe, and divide. When truth becomes impossible to isolate, it becomes easier to control. And now, as we live in an age of digital distraction, algorithmic outrage, and competing realities, the patterns we first saw in fields are appearing everywhere, in how stories spread, how facts blur, and how belief fractures. Maybe the crop circles weren't just a message from something beyond. Maybe they were a mirror, showing us how vulnerable we are to deception, confusion, and control. Because the question isn't just who made them. The question is, who knew how we'd react, and what else are they doing with that knowledge now? If this changed the way you see the world, even just a little, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dive investigations into the mysteries hiding in plain sight. And share this video with someone who still thinks crop circles were just a prank.